afternoon, you beautiful, shiny people. And I would say cisgender-ish, because I haven't been in a women's department for, I don't think, the 80s. And I quite often get misidentified in a lot of places, and it used to bug me, but now I figure, okay, well, so. Anyway, I have to just observe how beautiful this is. You guys have all made signs. It's not about bathrooms, like it was never about water fountains. It's cisgender, I support trans youth. We all have a gender. We have an all-gender bathroom at home. These beautiful signs, thank you so much. And I'm thinking, watching this and thinking about a lot of years ago, thinking about in the late 90s when I was privileged to be able to be sitting in the Supreme Court of Canada, the room, while they were arguing the case of Delwyn Green. Delwyn was fired because he was gay, and the Alberta government fought to insist that sexual orientation should not be included in human rights codes. It ought to remain legal for people to fire gay and lesbian people because they deeply held these views that they should be allowed in their freedom of expression and freedom of religion to visit this vitriol and hatred on other people. And our Supreme Court of Canada said, no, actually, you can celebrate who you are, but that celebration cannot include a right to hate others and a right to act in a way that is discriminatory to other people. One of the most moving parts of that experience, and the reason that I'm telling you that, even though I'm exposing myself as one of those old fogies in the group, is that while I was listening to counsel argue for Delwyn Green, there was a room full of people. There were churches, Unitarians for Social Justice, you guys were there, you beautiful souls. There was the United Church, there were labor unions, and there was the Canadian Jewish Congress. And Lyle Caney of the Canadian Jewish Congress stood up and he said there has been a history, a hideous history that has been shared between Jewish people and gay people. And the doors to citizenship, he said, are open to us, the Jewish community, but we will not walk through those doors. We cannot walk through those doors until we are hand in hand with our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters. And hearing that in the late 90s was profoundly powerful to me and was a profound lesson. Because perhaps for some of us out there that are just the GL part of the longer string, we've come a long way and we have had a lot of help. And we've been given to understand and to learn what it feels like to actually be invited into the doors of Canadian society, to be invited into the doors that say, no, 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 you can't fire a person because they're gay. No, 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 you can't discriminate against them in a school because they're gay. That's not how we roll here. We're Canadians. That's not how we roll. Everyone. 3 years ago, I had coffee with my beautiful nephew Dylan. And the Lloyds do things at weddings. So it was a wedding, and my beautiful nephew Dylan said to me, he said, Aunt Julie, I have gender dysphoria. And so we had this chat in Starbucks near the airport. And at the end of the chat, he said, oh, Aunt Julie, thank you. I knew that you would be understanding. And I said, oh, honey, if there is anything that you can learn from your Auntie Julie is you never apologize for who you are. You never apologize. A couple of years later, I was lucky to go to Montreal and be with my beautiful Dylan, as beautiful Dylan transitioned to beautiful Zoe. And I learned that just very recently, somebody burnt down that clinic, set a fire in that clinic. And Michael said what I truly believe, and that is these stories never change. It doesn't make it any easier for you beautiful trans people than it was for gay and lesbian people, than it was for Italians, than it was for Jews, than it was for any other of these groups. The struggle seems to stay the same. The struggle of ignorance and hatred and fear and stereotyping keeps coming up again and again. But the good news is the other side. The forces of good are getting bigger and bigger. I was just speaking to a school teacher earlier in this thing, what we're doing today, and she said, kids are just like totally over this. It's like, why do we have to have boys and girls bathrooms? And so we have to, The nice thing about hate is that you have to actually train children to be on your side when you want to be a real phobe about anything. But because kids' natural state seems to be, well, somebody explain to me what the big deal is. And somebody needs to explain to all of us what the big deal is. So what I want to express today is that been there, done that, got the fancy gingham t-shirt, right? Trans, you beautiful trans people, we're going to try and have your back. I can't tell you what your story is. I can't walk your path for you, but I'll be behind you, in front of you, and beside you. And everyone else who has benefited from support and help through their own journeys needs now to realize that we are not safe until everyone is. Turn around, look beside you, look behind you. Keep fighting this fight for everyone. Thank you.